Welcome to this explainer. You've probably seen the ads. Settle your IRS debt for pennies on the dollar, and wondered whether that's real or just another scam. So let me give you the straightforward strategic breakdown of how settling with the IRS actually works. Because it is real, but it's not nearly as simple or automatic as those TV commercials suggest. The formal program is called an offer and compromise, and it's a legal agreement where the IRS accepts less than the full amount you owe. The IRS accepted about 17,000 offers last year out of roughly 50,000 applications. That's about a 33% acceptance rate, so 1 in 3 gets through. Not terrible odds, but not a sure thing either. The entire decision comes down to one number. The IRS calls it your reasonable collection potential, or RCP. It's basically the IRS's calculation of, given this person's income, expenses, and assets, how much could we realistically collect from them if we used all available tools over the remaining collection period? If your offer meets or exceeds that number, they'll accept it. If it doesn't, they'll reject it. It's that simple. Here's how they calculate it. Step 1. Monthly disposable income. The IRS takes your gross monthly income and subtracts what they consider necessary living expenses. But here's the important part. They use their own allowance tables, not your actual expenses. They have standard amounts for housing, food, transportation, healthcare, and other necessities, based on where you live and your family size. If your actual rent is $2,500, but the IRS standard for your county is $1,800, they use $1,800. This is where a lot of people get surprised. The IRS's view of your expenses is often lower than your reality. Step 2. Multiply by 12 or 24 months. If you're offering to pay in 5 months or less, they multiply your monthly disposable income by 12. If you're offering to pay over 6 to 24 months, they multiply by 24. Lower monthly income means a lower RCP. Step 3. Add your asset equity. The IRS looks at what you own, your home equity, car equity, bank accounts, investments, retirement accounts, and adds that to the income figure. They calculate equity at quick sale value, which is typically 80% of fair market value. So your RCP equals monthly disposable income times 12 or 24 plus your total asset equity. If you owe $50,000 and your RCP is $8,000, you can potentially settle for $8,000. That's the pennies on the dollar scenario. But let's be realistic about who this works for. If you have a solid income, significant home equity, and healthy retirement accounts, your RCP might actually be higher than what you owe. In that case, an offer and compromise doesn't make sense. The IRS won't settle for less when they think they can collect the full amount. OIC works best for people with limited income, limited assets, and a tax debt that's substantially larger than what the IRS could realistically collect. It's a relief program for people who truly cannot pay, not a negotiation tactic for people who'd rather not pay. Before you apply, some practical requirements. You must be current on all tax filings. You must not be in an open bankruptcy proceeding. You need to pay a $205 application fee, though low-income applicants can get this waived. And you need to make an initial payment with your offer, either 20% of a lump sum offer or the first monthly payment if you choose the periodic payment option. The processing time is 6 to 12 months. During that time, the IRS generally pauses collection activity, which is good. But there's a strategic consideration. The 10-year collection statute, the CSED, is suspended while your offer is being reviewed. So if running out the collection clock was part of your strategy, an OIC application actually adds time to it. The free OIC calculator at ustaxpenaltysaver.com runs the same RCP formula the IRS uses. You enter your income, expenses, and assets, and it shows you your estimated reasonable collection potential, your recommended offer amount, and whether an OIC is likely to be realistic for your situation. It takes about 5 minutes, and it'll tell you whether this is worth pursuing before you spend the application fee. If an offer in compromise isn't realistic for you, don't lose hope. You still have installment agreements, currently not collectible status, and partial payment installment agreements. The goal is finding the right tool for your specific situation, and there's almost always a structured path forward. Head over to ustaxpenaltysaver.com, run the OIC calculator, and get a clear picture of where you stand. This is general information, not legal or tax advice. Whether the IRS accepts an offer in compromise depends entirely on your specific financial situation. Consult a licensed tax professional before submitting an offer.